Good to see you. Nice to see you,
Hi.
man. He started his career in many ways.
In every way. Yeah.
We'll talk about that at the end because I'm doing.
Open end, double time, 10 minutes.
Yeah, so
Open
we're going
end, double time.
double
You
time.
got double
Oh,
time.
this ought to be
Double
fun.
time.
Must
That's right.
be
This is for
important.
the people that aren't lucky enough to be here and talk with you three gentlemen. So this will be the generic as well as for me.
Great.
Great to see you. Love this movie. Hilarious. But in addition to it being very funny, there's a wonderful message that is so contemporary right now that I think millions of people are going to be able to relate to, and that
You
is,
think
of
they're
course,
going to be out there trying to pull this off?
Get yours back.
But seriously, I mean, I think people are going to
Oh no, it
understand.
is there. Yeah.
Yeah, and your thoughts about that?
Yeah, it's not just a comedy, and it's his fault because he put it all in.
Yeah.
You tell him about that story.
Well, let me let's zero you in. I didn't read the script until after they'd given
That's
it
it.
to him, and he turned the first script down, which wasn't this script. So if he hadn't, then we wouldn't. You understand? Now go ahead.
Yeah, no, I turned it down. I felt my character was a cliche, and I also felt that it was gratuitous. We rob a bank, and I felt like there was no reason for it. It's just three old guys robbing a bank who had no experience, and it just seemed stupid to me. They kept coming back to me. They said, Finally said, what would you do that would change your mind? I said, well, give them a reason. I said, there's plenty of reasons for robbing a bank. So I outlined the bare bones of what this thing, I didn't write it, but I just had the concept. I outlined the bare bones of what their motivation would be, and they went for it, and that was it. And it seems to have made a difference from what I can gather.
I found it also amazing that with the careers that you three gentlemen have had, that the three of you haven't really worked together in this way before.
They've worked together a lot.
We worked together.
Well, you have, yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, all three of you, I should
No,
have
no,
said
no,
it that
not,
way. Yeah.
no, no.
But even when we worked together, we weren't the leads in the movie. I mean, in Batman, we were characters who met and did
Support.
supporting actors.
They're busy doing the huge hits. I'm doing the off-Broadway versions of their movies.
But it was fun to see the friendship thing because I think also people will relate to this idea that people can be friends for 40 years and deal with all the issues, whether it's health issues, money issues, family issues.
Yeah.
And I think, the children, I mean, that was great.
I love that my relationship with my granddaughter. I love that area of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's a doting grandfather. That's
I'm a new grandfather. Yeah, so I'm not new. I've been 7 years, but I'm up and running for best grandfather in the world, and I'm trying hard. Yeah.
I bet you're doing pretty well in that department.
Oh, ask them. They'll guarantee.
Alan, of course, you came out of Second City, all about improv. Were you able to do some improv in this movie, the three of you?
No, it wasn't
No.
necessary.
There was no improv, I don't think, no.
I play with dialogue a lot, but I do it in a way so that it doesn't affect what other people do. I don't feel like it's fair to inflict that on anybody else. So I do it internally within my own speeches without hoping to bother anybody.
Each of you, do you have a favorite scene from the film that you loved when you think back on it?
Wait a minute. Favorite scene from a film?
From this film.
From this film that we
yes.
loved. Gee, there were so many
Oh, well,
nice moments.
I love the scene that I wasn't in. I love the scene that the Chinese girl, the little girl, with Morgan. I thought that was a lovely scene because I was standing in the bank watching it.
Yeah, that was one I liked too.
Yeah.
And I
And
like
there's
the
a
scene
little
where
Chinese girl who's going to
such
steal
a
the
darling.
movie at the end. Believe me,
the scene in the end where she goes down the line.
that was lovely.
I like a lot.
I love the little Chinese girl.
Yeah.
She was terrific. She was terrific. Also, I loved you and Anne Margaret. And
that's great. Yeah.
She's
Isn't she the
wonderful
best?
to work with. She's like a teenager that's doing this for fun, and it's like she's never done it before. She's a joy to work with.
the fact that Zach Braff is also an actor and directs this, of course, does that make him a better director, or does it help? Maybe that's not the right way to ask it. Being an actor, does it add a little extra oomph to his directing?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
I think it adds a huge measure of understanding what,
Actors go through.
yeah,
Yeah.
some, particularly writer-directors, are so enamored of what they did that they don't hear what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Zach was, and probably will continue to be, a terrific director.
Yeah, he's terrific.
Absolutely. The bank scenes were great, and those masks. Did it get a little hot under those masks?
Yeah.
Oh yes, it did.
I discovered that I'm allergic to latex. I didn't think I was
right?
allergic to anything in this world except cold weather.
Yeah.
But,
I'm allergic to penicillin.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
you didn't have
allergic
to
to
take any
penicillin
shots
too.
though. I had to wear the mask.
Yeah, you wore them. I did no penicillin in this movie.
No, no.
It wasn't necessary. No.
Great.
That's a good thing. That's
yeah,
a good
yeah.
thing.
If there's penicillin in the movie, I don't do it. I turn it down.
When the thing with the kids was always terrific. I loved Joey. She was marvelous.
And my granddaughter, I loved. I thought she was
She was
wonderful.
terrific. And again, getting back to, I've got to get back to. I love the fact that you and Anne Margaret. It shows that, you know what, older people can have sex. I think that's a very important message that you put across in this film here, Alan.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all I'll say.
When you think back on it, you mentioned favorite scenes, but is there something about this film that, had you seen the original film, by the way?
Yes, I
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so it must be nice to see how this has gone and
It's a completely different direction.
Yeah,
What do you call it? A
it-
reimagining?
Yeah,
That's
reimagining,
what
not a
it's-
remake.
It's a
A
reimagining.
remake is like a word for word redo.
Our characters are all different. The motivation is all different.
Yeah.
The family situations are
Endings all different. I mean, it's a different movie, so
That's right. And as I said at the beginning, I think people will be able to relate to this because there are a lot of corporations that are pretty much pulling the same stunts
Yeah.
that you see in this movie.
Yep.
Exactly. I do want to ask you some Chicago stuff because I think all three of you have had experience. When you mentioned cold weather, I'll never forget you say you will after Chain Reaction, you said, I'm never going to make another movie in Chicago in the wintertime, and I think you've held true to that.
I am. I'm telling you, it's a foregone conclusion. If it's winter, don't even mention Chicago.
But you do love our city, I know, when it's summer and warm.
No, yes, it's a lovely place, and I've been there numerous of times in the summer when it's nice, but it's not a place to be. It's no country for old men.
No, but I did a movie in Chicago in the winter, and it was called The Weatherman.
Yeah.
You know.
Remember that?
Yeah. I also did 3 Batmans there.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So you
So
know.
I know Chicago very well, and I like it a lot. But it was all our stuff was in the winter.
Yeah, but we were inside.
Yeah, inside
Always
a lot.
inside.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Talk back about the early days of Second City, and you must be so pleased with how that has had such an impact on the world of comedy and entertainment.
Well, it changed my life in every conceivable way. I went there with a sense of defeat because I'd give up any chance of ever having a career in New York. Nothing was happening for me. And I got offered this job at this little hole in the wall in Chicago, and I said, well, it's better than starving. So I went there, and 6 months later, we started getting international attention, and that was 50 years ago. And it was Second City, and it's still going after 50 years. One of the most amazing moments of my life was when those of us who are still alive were given a standing ovation at the 50-year, and we looked at each other with our mouths open. We went there. They talked about us like we were legends. We went there to survive. We had nowhere else to go. We didn't belong anywhere in the world. We didn't know if improvisation was ever going to mean anything, and it turned into an institution.
I was there. It was very special. Very.
Were
special.
you there? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as Joyce Sloan said, the great lady from Second City,
Yeah.
who you knew well, she said the one thing about Chicago, it allows you to fail, so you could go on and keep trying things and trying things and trying things.
Yeah.
And
Well, Sheldon Patinkin was my dearest friend for the entire time.
very special guy.
Yeah, I miss him terribly.
I'm sure you do. He was a
Could
great guy.
you do a shout out for me about his extraordinary erudition.
I
think
offered him a little cash.
And I'm just trying to, you know.
He's joking. He's,
I know. I've known him long enough to know that.